afternoon and welcome to 3Talk. I'm your host, Noeleen Maholwana Sangqu. His passion is contagious, his dedication admirable, his business a great success. Peter Nyati is our May winner for the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Year competition. Let's meet Peter and take a look at tropical mushrooms, the SME honored on 3Talk today. Dynamic and passionate mushroom farmer Peter Nyati is the May winner of the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Year competition.
Well, I started to have the idea that I'm ready to start my own business in 1996. I did a project. I started going through financial institutions to source funding. Up until 1999, that's when I had a partner. We signed the deal, and we came to this place when there was nothing. We started the construction and we started the production, and our mushrooms were first harvested on the 20th of January 2000. I chose mushroom farming against maize and potatoes and all the others because half of the time there's very little to do in some of the enterprises, whereas mushrooms, it's a 24/7 business. And that keeps me occupied. I like to be occupied and I enjoy it. Quality in our business is very important. As you know, women, when they go into the supermarkets, they want the best looking product. For us, it's a priority. And of course, that would also help us be able to have good prices in the market. We have to have the product, which is the output. It has to be there in that good quality. Obviously, price plays a role, but quality is number one.
Peter faces the challenges of being an SME owner head-on. He believes in confronting problems in order to reach positive solutions.
There are so many challenges. Initially, or to start off, you have the challenge of raising enough capital for the requirement. And at times we have a shortcut where you underfund it. Obviously, if you underfund, somehow it has to be paid for. And that's paid for by inadequate cash flows. All the budgets may not be met because you don't have a good starting point. So that is a problem in SMEs. In my business, it was a huge problem for the past 3 years. The initial 3 years were very much affected because of that. But once you come over it, you put together all the necessary capex that you need or the equipment that you need, the next phase of problems, or it's part of it from the initial anyway, the manpower. You need to have good people that know what they are doing, that are trained in what they should be doing, that know the standards of their performance. What is the level that they know that this is what we are looking at achieving? So that is a continuous problem to put together a team that will run the company. Success comes, I think, with a couple of things. I would be lying to say it is because of ABCD, but I would try to elaborate on some of the things that one has to have. You have to know the industry, you have to know your product, you have to know your enterprise before you do anything. And you have to have that knowledge within yourself to be able to deal with the challenges that enterprise faces. Obviously, you have to like it, you have to love it. Have passion in what you do, because you don't have to be tired by 3 o'clock. At times I go home at 8 o'clock. It's because it's dark, it's because I need to be home. But not that I'm bored. You know, I still love it as much as I would in the morning when I come in. So that passion makes you go an extra mile.
It's important to Sanlum and 3Talk to honor and acknowledge SME owners with the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Year award.
Winning an award, it's a pat on the shoulder. It encourages you, it inspires you. It just shows that you are doing things the right way. Because if you are compared with colleagues in the same area, in the same business, and you are found to be doing a little bit better, it encourages you, it inspires. It's really wonderful. It's a very good feeling for us.
The Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Year competition runs for the next 7 months. Our judges will choose a monthly winner ending in November. Each monthly winner stands in line to become the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Year, winning a phenomenal prize of 100,000 Rand from Sanlum and a weekend for two at River Lodge, a Lion Sands private game reserve to the value of 25,000 Rand. Don't go away. In a few moments, Peter joins me in studio. It's time to meet the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the month for May. Please welcome Peter Nyati, the MD of Tropical Mushrooms, as well as judges Rama Diallo, the Managing Director of Endeavour South Africa, and Sean Ray, the CEO of Cape Empowerment Trust. Now, what we're going to do is that I'll allow you to ask Peter all the pertinent questions, why he got to the stage that he got to. But firstly, we need to congratulate you, and congratulations for being the May monthly winner. How do you feel about it?
Well, I feel very much honored.
Did it come as a surprise?
Yes, it was. Because usually you don't expect people to notice what you're doing. So I was quite surprised and very much excited about it.
You mentioned in the clip that we saw a few minutes ago, you said in order to be a successful business, you've got to love the product. And one asks, mushrooms are mushrooms. You cook with mushrooms, but how did your love of mushrooms come about?
It's the love of mushrooms, and it's the love of what you do. Because if you are put where you don't like, where you don't enjoy what you're doing, it will become a prison. So for me, I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
I love what I do because of what it offers me.
Yeah.
I have so much passion for the work that I do, the diversity of it, and the challenges that I meet daily. So that excites me every day. It's only the day that is short. I get to go home because time is up.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm really tired or I'm bored by what I'm doing, but I just get excited each day. It's not like I've been there yesterday or everything is the same. Every day is very different for me.
Yeah.
When I go out, it's a very different day, and I enjoy it.
I love the enthusiasm. Well, I'm going to give you over to the judges, and between them, they're going to ask you a couple of questions. Go ahead. Maybe Rama?
I'll get started. Well, let's start from the beginning. You were in a situation where you had a job, you were in the line of work you had studied, etc. But then you decided that you wanted to become an entrepreneur in this particular field. What I want you to take our viewers through is what are the steps you took very concretely? What are the things you did in order to get to the stage where you were standing on your farm ready to produce?
I think one has to decide. It's a very conscious decision. When I was in university, I was looking at, when I finished, I set myself goals. I should have my own house by this time. I should have my own car by this time. And by that time, I should be running or occupying a sizable position, so to speak, in a big organization or one of my own. And with that, when I started working, I never stayed at one job for more than a year and a half. Once I'm familiar and I know that there's nothing new to learn in this, then I would move on to a relevant job that would enhance my learning of what I want to do. Because if you have to run a business, you have to know a lot about it. And in that, having studied in agriculture, I worked for short periods in agricultural enterprises as an extension worker, as a planning specialist to plan the usage of land. And then I moved on to join Old Mutual and become a sales rep. That was to give myself the exposure to be able to market a product. And from there I joined Sanlum. That also gave me a lot more training until I felt I now need that job which would satisfy the other sort of occupations that I need to do. And I then ended up with one of the largest mushroom producers in the country. actually, I just say, wow, this is where I belong. And
you just found it. You found
yes,
it
I just found it. And from then, I just said, well, I'll be here. And with a couple of years training, I also got sent overseas for further visits to other farms to see what they do. And I felt, well, it's either I'm going to stay here forever, or I would try and have something of my own, of which it was a dream that I was building myself towards.
But you were very consciously accumulating the skills.
Very much.
All throughout the years.
Yes, all the way through. There wasn't a time that I felt I've had enough, I have to relax. No, it was throughout.
It was a learning process.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Peter, apart from accumulating skills, you also had to accumulate money to get going. Tell us about that journey and how committed you were to that journey personally.
Well, I spent more than 3 years knocking on various doors to get some funding. If you want something and you really commit yourself to it, definitely you would do everything that you can. And that's why within the 3 years, I never really got let down, because in some cases, you phone someone and you tell them, you know, I've got this project that I need to talk to you about. They'll give you an opportunity to go and present, and they'll just tell you flatly that we don't fund such enterprises. So it's like you have been in a storm, you know. You go back home, but you pick up, and because that's not the end of the world. You know what you want to achieve. You work towards it, and eventually it paid off. Obviously, when we started, when you go and borrow someone's money, he's planting it. He's hoping that it will grow, and you harvest more. So if I don't show the commitment that I'll nurture that plant until he gets his harvest, how is he going to give me the money?
Let's go to an SMS. I'm trying to start a niche tourism business and finding it so hard to find investors and BEE investors. Any advice, Anonymous? Sean?
Well, I think Peter's story is quite typical of people who succeed. He started with a good business plan, and he never gave up. He knocked on every single door until somebody took him seriously. But something else that's quite interesting in Peter's business is he's got a substantial amount of capital of his own invested in the business. And I think it's very important to back yourself. And perhaps Peter can tell us.
Now, before we go to Peter, specifically on that SMS, they were asking about wanting to start a niche tourism business, but capital is a problem, and BEE as well. So maybe let's just address those, and then we'll go to Peter.
All right. On the capital side, essentially you need to put some of your own equity in, even if it's just a very minimal amount, and that's to show the financial institutions that you have commitment. Then I think you need to get yourself accredited by places like the tourism organizations and avail yourselves to the Department of Trade and Industry incentives, because those do help financially to get moving. Once you've basically done that, you should take your business plan to various banks and funders. There are many organizations who specialize in small businesses and who do fund startup businesses. Having achieved that, I think the BE status certainly helps, but at the end of the day, you still need to be competitive, and you need to offer the tourist exactly what he wants, because he's not actually going to support you purely because you BE. You've got to be market focused.
You've got to know your business.
Absolutely.
Sean, thank you very much for joining us. Are you an SME owner and have a question for the panel? Call me on 086 2233 303 or SMS 083 601 9932. We're back in a few moments with more from Peter and our judges. Welcome back to 3Talk with me, Noeleen. Today we're showcasing the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Month for May. Please welcome our third judge, Noeleen Maholwana, the CEO of Executive Development Academy. Let's go to the lines. We're joined by Max in Randburg. Hi, Max.
Hi, Noeleen.
Good.
Yeah, I would just like to first say well done to Mr. Nyati.
Yes.
Yes, I've got a question here. I want to start a small business promoting air shows to black people especially. Now I've got this partner of mine that we're going to go in with, but I've only known him for 3 months. And I'd like to find out what channels do you have to go through to know that I'm not being ripped off and
by your partner?
Yeah, by my partner. I just want to know which are the channels to go through to make sure that the papers are correct and legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my question.
All right. Don't go away, Max. Any questions for him before we say goodbye, if you want to answer him properly?
No.
No. Max, thank you very much for your question. So how does he make sure that he doesn't get ripped off by his partner?
I think the answer, Noeleen, in any business is you need to have good advisors. Robert Kiyosaki in his books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he says the one thing that you never ever try and save money on is good people, good advisors. So, get a great attorney, get a fantastic accounting firm that can assist you in putting a deal together. Don't just do it on the basis of trust or the basis I like a person. There's a lot to be said for it, but there's also a lot to be said for checking it out and getting people who's knowledgeable to help you check it out.
So Max must just stop where he is right now and get people, get lawyers to put the
I wouldn't
business
say
together.
he needs to get panicky. He doesn't necessarily have to run off to the lawyer's office. But I would
it's
say
a bit worrying, isn't it, when you're 3 months into a relationship with someone and you're not so sure about whether to trust him or not?
I would say two things. The first thing is trust your intuition. If you're having issues and asking this question, I would ask sort of why are you asking the question. That's the first step. The second step is I would approach it a bit like hiring somebody. I mean, this person came from somewhere, they have a CV, so follow up on their previous employers, previous deals, previous businesses, previous business partners. Try to talk to all these people. I would say actually talk to them because that will make them a little more comfortable and they don't have to write anything that, that they don't want to, eventually get out there. But go through the effort of talking to these people, their previous partners, and that will tell you a lot about who they are in business, and that hopefully will make you comfortable with them as a potential partner.
Peter, how do you respond to Max? How would you advise him?
I think, looking back, I was almost in a similar situation. Because when you want to start a business, you are so much enthusiastic about it. But at the same time, you need to understand what you are stepping into. Who are you going to deal with? And in that case as well, you have little money. So you can't afford very expensive lawyers. A lot of it's part of your own responsibility to really read. I had to go and read and look for information. So that when we started having a shareholders agreement, I eventually took it to the lawyers, but there was nothing that virtually got changed. Because before that, I had read and I had gone through it, and I was having quite some understanding about what you would expect in a fair shareholders agreement. And up to now, I'm quite happy with it. So he has to read, he has to research.
All right, Max, I hope that has helped you. All right, Neil, over to you. And Rama, questions for Peter?
Well, it's actually more of a comment. I was quite delighted to hear that you chose to go into sales before you started your business. It sounds like it was quite a conscious effort on your part to go into sales, to try and understand the sales world. Did you do that at the time because you had the vision of going to business and that was part of your skill set that you wanted to acquire before you went into business? What was your thinking process? Why did you go into sales?
Definitely it was. All the guys that I was with at university, they say, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Old Mutual. What do you do there? I said, I'm going to be selling. And they said, but you don't sell cabbages, you don't sell, that's insurance. I said, that's what I want. So it was very much a conscious decision. I planned it and I had to do it. If I look into my personality, I'm not a very outward person. I don't step forward much. I like being in the middle. So when you are in sales, you do cold canvas, you just walk into someone else. It's a bit of a difficult situation when you are not that type of a character. But I understood what I wanted to do and I had to put myself into it. Look, 3 years, marketing insurance. So I think I did fairly well.
No, you said you
it's helping me
have.
very much.
No, I must tell you, I mean, it's wonderful because we get so many business owners inquiring, who can I hire to do my sales for me? Or who can I get to do my marketing for me? You know, it's almost like the business owner thinks if they come up with a better mousetrap, someone else is going to sell it for them. But in reality, the businesses who succeed is on the passion of the business owner and is able to put deals together and to get customers. And I believe it's a vital skill. So well done. It was great thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you. If I may add something on that, I think when you are a small business, just remember that you don't have huge resources. It's very limited. So the more you can do it internally, the better. Absolutely. If you do it right. So you have to acquire as much knowledge as possible. And I think for me and the people I work with, I always say, you stop learning when you're dead. Life is about learning, and that's
Just
what takes you
continue
forward.
learning, even if you get your PhD at 70. Let's go to Jenny in Somerset West. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Hello.
I have never seen mushrooms like that in my entire life.
They look lovely.
I would like to know under what name are they marketed in Somerset West?
Okay, thank you very much. Do you take your mushrooms to Somerset West?
Not easy yet.
Not yet. Ooh, distribution channels. Okay, where do you get your mushrooms and what name are they under?
We are marketing our mushrooms under Tropical Mushrooms.
Tropical
brand.
mushrooms, the name we've been using, yes?
Yes, and we are distributing them mainly in Gauteng and Northwest. We intend to go into other areas, but that will be later.
When can Jenny expect your mushrooms in Somerset West? Can you give her a time frame? She loves the mushrooms.
I wouldn't say because it might be very long.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it important to be prudent in business in terms of, you've got a market in the Northwest, you've got a market in Gauteng, and in terms of expanding, is it important to be prudent, or should you just go?
I think it's important to be prudent in your execution, but in your vision, you must have a big vision, because you can't expect that you're going to stay in your little area and nobody's going to take your market share and nothing is going to change for the next 50 years. So I think the prudence will come in how do you plan to go into the other markets, planning for growth, making sure you have the right distribution channels into those markets, making sure it's funded, and that in terms of capacity and management that your company can actually handle the growth and the further distances. But prudent, not in vision.
Yeah. Oh, well, congratulations, Peter, because you have won IT equipment to the value of 15,000 Rand from Light Edge Technology. Again, congratulations. Established in 1993, Light Edge Technology is a national platform integration specialist and IT distributor providing a wide range of leading branded hardware, software, and peripherals. Being a proud sponsor of the Sanlum 3Talk Business Owner of the Year competition, Light Edge understands the important role SMEs have in the economy and are dedicated to working closely with them by giving them access to expertise and a complete range of products. And these products and solutions scale from entry level to enterprise, ensuring that a suitable and cost-effective solution meets their business requirements. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
What are some of the strengths that you saw in Peter's business?
Actually, more in Peter than in his business. Peter is very conscientious, and he's a good strategist in my mind. I see also the way he set up his business. He's really set it up for the capacity to grow. He's taken a very important step to recapitalize his business, which often through growth is neglected, and that's when a lot of businesses go down. So I think the way Peter approached his business, first of all, is fantastic. He really took the time to acquire the skills, put the plan together, the way he acquired finance, and the way he thinks about growing his business. It's ambitious yet pragmatic, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
And for you, Rama?
I would second all of those, and in addition to his dedication, Peter put in his own money. He went without salary for a while. He's putting all his time and resources into it, and when he talks to you about his business, you sense that this is a real sort of lifetime commitment he's making to it. It's not something he's doing for a few years so he could cash out and move on. It's not a deal. It's really a lifestyle. It's a commitment to the business. It's a commitment to providing jobs. And it's a commitment to his passion, which is really mushrooms and agriculture. So I think that sets him apart, and it's probably one of the reasons why he's here.
All right, Rama, thank you very much. And Neil, thank you very much as well. Again, congratulations to you, Peter, and hope to see you in December. Thank you very much for being with us. Do you need advice for your business? Call or SMS the numbers on the screen. His story is inspiring, his history fascinating, the success of his business a remarkable achievement. His name is Herman Mashaba, and he joins me after this. It's always a privilege to engage in conversations with successful business owners. When listening to the story of their businesses, you can draw inspiration and motivation for yourself. Please welcome founder and former CEO of Black Like Me, Herman Mashaba. Now, I use the words success, inspiring, all those wonderful words. For Herman, everybody else sees Herman as a success, and you've won many awards telling you that, and your businesses have been always a success. Do you look at yourself as a success?
Not really, Noeleen. I think this question of success, it's something that I've really engaged people over many years. What is actually success? And actually
Lots
made
of
this...
money.
No, not really. You can't really judge success based on your bank balance, because there's so many people out there with huge bank balances. And would you like to really share a table with them? Or to, obviously, I think it'll really be unfortunate if, particularly for us as South Africans, if we can judge people based on their material positions. I think for me, success it goes beyond what you can achieve as an individual. Is this something what I'm doing today? Can I pass it on to generations to come? Can it impact on other people that are around me? You know, for me, those are the issues that I actually call success. And I've been in business just over 20 years. Is it a long time? Not really. I think particularly if I take the South African business environment for us as black people, we need obviously many more years. We need to really produce more business people. And I think let's talk about success. Let's look at the generations to come, particularly a generation of my age. Can we really look at the kids coming after us? That's when if we can see those kids really succeeding in whatever they're doing, that's when, when we're 60, 70, we can say and look back at ourselves as a nation, as human beings, that we're successful. Not about
material possessions.
No, that really, I think, because material accumulation, anyone can really do that.
But that's a very different take from a lot of South African business people. So then I would have to ask you, what drives Herman Mashaba?
Well, what drives me, I don't know if, a lot of people know how I actually started my business over 20 years ago. I started that to survive. I was born and brought up in an environment where I learned to survive at a very early stage of my life. And business was one of those opportunities that presented themselves to me to really set myself free, because I really valued my independence from as early as I can remember. And obviously being a university dropout, I come back into the townships, no career whatsoever. And what was there to liberate me? And fortunately, I thought of a business route, and fortunately, it actually worked for me to really give. I've really been a free man. I was born free, and the business 20 years ago gave me even that freedom to actually fly.
And that freedom for you, or that business opportunity that came, because Black Like Me came way down the line, because you started out selling every sorts of thing. You sold insurance, you sold tableware, you sold glasses, you sold everything that you can come.
Yes, I think I've always admired black women in particular, in the early days of to my business career in the 80s, running around from the police because of the past laws. And I used to really sell linen and crockery and whatever to women. So women like you, they were my targets all the time.
Well, I'm still a target because I use your hair products.
And I tell you, they gave me that opportunity. They made me their brother. They made me actually an associate. And in the process, I made money and I made a living out of them. Yeah. And something I'm so grateful of really being given that opportunity.
Black Like Me, the hair care products have become extremely, extremely successful. But there have been challenges along the way,
Oh, certainly.
which
I mean,
you've been able to
certainly.
override.
You know, that's why I always really dispute when people say you're successful. What do you mean when at the 20 odd years I've been in business, I've always put my life on the line. I always really invest back in my business, and I take chances. I gamble with my business, and people out there, they think you're successful, and in the meantime they just really don't realize the type of challenges that you go through. That's why sometimes when people talk about success, I say, you know, I always ask them to really wait a bit. What you mean I'm successful when I'm actually spending sleepless nights like this? But it's really been exciting 20 years, and I'm looking forward to another 20 odd years of working.
Is it possible to be in business, whether it's small, medium, or large, and not spend sleepless nights?
Well, I don't know. Will one ever really reach a stage where you can say you've arrived? That's why actually I've committed myself to that process, that I will never really relax as long as I'm alive. I'm really hoping that God can give me an opportunity to live up to 70, because I still really need to work, so that I think the kids out there and everything, I can really be an exemplar from a work point of view. Because one thing that the culture, I believe, needs to really be cultivated and promoted in this country, it's for our kids, black kids out there. They must go out there and want to make money. But understanding that in the process of making money, you've got to work for it. It's not something that obviously happens overnight. It happens through a lot of dedication. You really have to really sacrifice. But one thing that I believe as a country, we owe it to our kids, our black kids out there. We need to really make them capitalists. I really strongly believe we need to really encourage our kids, but understand that, you know what, you make money, but you work for it. Because if you can make money, you know, you'll make such a difference. You will employ people, you'll build factories, you'll grow our economy, because we can only grow this economy through those type of tendencies.
You want to grow, in the next few years, 10 CEOs.
Yes.
How are you going to do this?
It's actually quite interesting. I actually put myself on the line sometime last year. I was addressing a group, and I said to him, put yourself on the line. What is it that you can really challenge yourself? And I really made a commitment to this country that by 2014, if I can really fail to produce 20 black top CEOs, I'd really be a failure. That's when I can really obviously judge myself. And how I do it, fortunately, with the opportunities created by our political environment at the moment with this whole BE process. A lot of white businesses out there are looking for black investors in their businesses and give them black profile. But obviously, I think for me, I can't really be in 20 to 10 different companies at the same time. So what I do is I'm always asking those black youth to really use me, and white and black business to really use me, where I can afford to really give white companies a black profile. But at the same time, then I look for a black youngster who does not have the capacity to really raise the funding, to invest in that business. But I really want that black person to really go out there and work with my white partners. 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, I'm hoping these black guys, through our mentoring, that we can really produce more and more. Because I think one of the interesting part about broad-based empowerment, it's about the skills development. And I think it's actually quite exciting. I'm excited about South Africa with this whole process, because we're not just going to produce CEOs. This country, 10, 20 years down the line, is going to really produce a very strong skill base. If everyone can really be committed towards this process. Because black economic empowerment is not about him and buying equity in these white companies. It's about companies where we invest also really get involved in skills development. So that 10, 20 years down the line, South Africa can really be one of those reskill-based countries. Because at the moment, we've got such a shortage because of, obviously, the legacies of the past. But at the end of the day, let's really look at the future, because obviously the past we can't reverse. But we can obviously deal with it and recognize the mistakes we've made as a nation. And I'm excited about this, and I believe I can really be exploited as a country to really play that role.
You need to write a book. Herman Mashaba, thank you so much for joining us on 3Talk. You can catch Peter and Sean at 2 p.m. tomorrow with Tabiso on SAFM Business Show. Don't forget to tune in. To enter the Sanlam 3Talk Business Owner of the Year competition and and stand in line to win 100,000 Rand from Sanlam and a weekend for two at the luxurious River Lodge, a Lion Sands private game reserve to the value of 25,000 Rand. Call 0860 100 539 or go to www.sanlam-3talk businessowner.co.za. The first 3 SME callers will win a business fitness evaluation from Sanlam for 1,500 Rand. It's every little girl's fantasy to have a white wedding. Tune in to 3Talk tomorrow for a show on making this fantasy come true. From venues and dresses to food and flowers, we'll cover it all. From all of us at 3Talk, you have a great evening.
Let's go. Hi there. Are you the owners of this successful family business?
Yes.
So you've obviously entered the Sanlam 3Talk Business Owner of the Year then?
No.
You know, the one where you can win like 100,000 Rand. Wouldn't you want to see your business on TV? Call to enter 0860 100 539. So enter your business into the Sanlam 3Talk Business Owner of the Year on Sabc3. It can really help you.
Sanlam, we're thinking ahead. Are you?